Welcome back to our School Projects Available Commentary Series. This is episode number 3. In this episode, we're going to cover two particular projects because they don't really have any or like much to say here, I would say. Um, this next one we have here is our announcement intro. Little did I know, in my sophomore year, would be the last school year where announcements would be held. Do you guys even remember your school system doing like announcements at the in the morning? I do, and my sophomore year was the last year they did it. So, seeing that they were production classes, we were tasked with a particular project to make an intro for the announcements before they come up. And I feel that I did a pretty good intro. Unfortunately, my intro was not chosen as to be one of the intros shown in the announcements. It sucked because I feel like I did a pretty good job at it. Well, somewhat. Let's take a look. And let's see if there's any description. Oh yeah, I was about to say it. If they somehow revive the announcements, I hope that they can pick this one. Well, we'll just have to see. Well, here's the intro for you guys. So yeah, that was my announcement intro. So I'm gonna go over what just happened here. So yeah, to do the announcement intro, we had to film like various shots of like what makes our high school to be great, or at least the best at what they do. Thankfully, we were able to manage to get a couple of shots of a couple of physical education classes, or we just call them gym classes because that's basically what they are. We just got a shot of a gym class doing a couple of laps around their own track inside the gym here. And then on the top here is basically some awards that our sports teams have right here onto the patio by the cafeteria. We basically a few awards in determination, education, and we saw that our mascot's pretty much a bee, so we kind of want to be a charming bee, but it's whatever. I guess I'm into Sonic, okay? Don't make fun of me. And for this shot, we actually here's an interesting story I gotta share with you all. So apparently, our high school, the building where our high school is, wasn't actually the original high school. The original high school building was actually the middle school in our district system. But apparently, because we were getting too much students in the high school levels, they had to construct a new building that's bigger than the middle school, so that can be the new high school. So that's pretty interesting. And what the middle school had was pretty much this like quarter-mile track right here to basically do the mile test. I remember, I remember because that was a painful test for me. I wasn't physically fit, so that's why my times on doing the mile was so long. But yeah, since some of the people, some of the students in my class had driver's licenses, we traveled from, we went from the high school to this track here by the middle school to be able to get some shots. And then I ended up with KHS announcements Channel 76 News because apparently, because for some reason, the announcements is always on Channel 76 in their TV system. For some reason, I don't know why. So there you go. That's my announcement intro. Now I will show you some other footage that we had from our KHS, no, not from our announcement intro files, I would say. There was definitely some clips that I didn't place in myself, but because this was like because we did this as a group, I did this with Lane, Ben, and Jeremy. Lane Hilka, by the way. There was actually two Lanes in my class, so I'll say Lane Hilka. So I'll say Lane Hilka because I mean he pretty much said his name on his YouTube channel, so that's really no problem with me saying it. So yeah, um, we got like various shots here, and I'll show you those shots. Okay, here's a shot of the gym class. Some other gym class. Was, but like it was swerving from right to left here. Now, this shot here, I didn't really a couple seconds because the camera movement was very odd, so I kind of felt like I shouldn't like include footage of a camera being wonky, you know. But it wasn't closely. Yeah, some of my friends were doing gym class at the time, and since they saw me on a high platform, which is where we were, they wanted to say hi to me. So, I mean, of course, we didn't really include the audio in because, I mean, there's not really any point to that. We just have to put in some cheesy music along with some seconds of footage to make an announcement intro, and there we go. But yeah, you heard them call my name. Of course, you probably should know my name by now, which is Spencer. And because a couple of my friends were in gym class at the time and they saw me on a high platform, so yeah, that's something, I guess. This was just like a quick 3 seconds of like or 2 seconds of like a class, which was kind of no use. Here is where we filmed the cafeteria in the high school, so that was pretty interesting. I think this was a pan, I guess, I don't know. And then here we are inside the library. Well, you know, they're focusing. There's like a cafe, but even though the cafe isn't really used as an actual cafe, it's just like a place to sell like supplies and stuff. Which is what I don't get is why they would call it a cafe when it's not really a cafe. We have just a wide shot of the library here. This next one we have here, we zoomed in onto our mascot with our high school name. This next shot we shot outside onto the patio right here just to film what the building looks like on the outside. Oh, hey, there's Ben. I didn't realize there was Ben in that shot. Of course, this is a shot where we I included in determination, education, and your destination names up there. Yeah, there was a variety of shots that we had to do in order to determine what would make it into the end of the intro. And here is our flag right here. This is basically the shot where Lane had the main focus on his announcement intro. And it's basically his intro that was played at the announcement for a majority of the days, I would say. Although he did say that his biggest regret was that he didn't mirror this particular footage because the flag what's showing right here was the flag on the mirrored side of things. Well, like mirrored and flipped. It would have been better if it was mirrored from this original footage and reflect and flipped so that it could show the K in its proper form. So yeah. So yeah, here's the footage of us going to the track by the middle school. It's really impressive that they were able to put the text here onto the actual track itself, like, you know, the pavement here. And of course, yeah, this is like a football stadium right here, a big football stadium that has a quarter mile track like surrounding it, so that's pretty neat. We shot this from like from the stands, so that was pretty interesting. There we had another shot where we did a tilt towards looking on the other side of the stands right there. I'm pretty sure you might remember this shot from the first shot from my ABS News intro number 4 is where it was able to show like the football stand. I don't know what this like platform is called, but it shows that along with the sun coming out. It was morning though, so yeah, that's why it was in that direction. Okay, now before we get into like an extra scene, here's one of the final scenes that we shot to determine what we follow and the final shot to my intro to up to. Now, let's get on over to this extra shot. Basically, I wanted to mess around and just like film this random like a random moment of it doing something. I was walking a little late at the time, and oh no, I was doing something and then I just showed that. Okay, alright. Again, wildfire, no edits needed, so it's fine. So yeah, I was filming, and right there, rain. You know that that thing on the camera where you open it and it pretty much just gives you a clear view on what the camera is showing. Yeah, well, you close that, but but we both didn't know that if you close it, it still keeps recording if you've already pressed record prior. So that's why you heard like a closing sound there. Wayne closed it.
It was recording.
You were?
Yes, it was.
It still is, probably.
I don't know.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, we both didn't know that apparently it still records if you close the lens. Well, not the lens. It records like the viewer on the camera. So that was pretty interesting, I would say. Yeah, I just filmed the shot because I just wanted to have fun, just mess around a little. So yeah, that's announcement intro for my high school. Oh yeah. Don't worry about that, guys. Don't worry about it. And since that's gonna wrap it up, for at least for this talking about this, I got one other video that I could be able to show. Since I'm finally gonna be able to make these at least hopefully shorter than what I did with the camera shots. I was like an hour long. This next one is an individual project, I would say. It is called Dynamic Typography. Now what this is another individual project where we got more practice with editing and Premiere Pro ourselves. Although again, we didn't shoot with any camera shots. For this one, we had to get text. We had to put in text along with an audio and be able to animate the text in some way in order to make it more interesting. This will be dynamic typography. What I did here, I did a presidential speech on Herbert Hoover, which was very ironic because I was in a history class at that same semester, and I actually did a report on Herbert Hoover. So yeah, that was pretty interesting. So might do 2 assignments on him, and that's what I did. If you guys don't know who Hoover was, he used to be the U.S. president. I don't remember exactly what he did as U.S. president, but he was one of the U.S. presidents. He even had a dam named after him, so that was cool. So yeah, for all of you who wants to listen to a speech, here you go.
If it shall appear that while I have had the honor of the presidency, that I have contributed to the part required from this high office to bringing the Republic through this dark night, and if in my administration we shall see the break of dawn of the better day, I shall have done my part in the world. No man can have a greater honor than that. And I have but one desire, and that is to see my country again on the road to prosperity, which shall be more sane and lasting through the lessons of this experience, to see the principles and ideals of the American people perpetuated. I rest the case of the Republican Party upon the intelligence and the just discernment of the American people. Should my countrymen again place upon me the responsibilities of this high office, I shall carry forward the work of reconstruction. I shall hope long before another 4 years have passed to see the world prosperous and at peace in every American home, again in the sunshine of genuine progress and of genuine prosperity. I shall seek to maintain untarnished and unweakened those fundamental traditions and principles upon which our nation was founded, upon which it has grown. I shall invite and welcome the help of every man and woman in the preservation of the United States for the happiness of its people. This is my pledge to the nation and my pledge to the Almighty God.
So yeah, that was my dynamic typography. I really hope you enjoyed that speech, by the way. I want to see if I actually have any description that's different from what I said. Nope, it was about the same. Now, I noticed, of course, that it wasn't that the text that I put in wasn't exactly the same exact words as Hoover said in his speech. That's because I actually got the text from a rough transcript that I found online of this said speech, and I should have vibrated my phone. So that's why it seemed rough, because it was a rough transcript that people were able to get out of this out of the speech from back in the day, from like I think it was the 1920s that he was the U.S. president. So yeah, that was basically my dynamic typography for you guys. And I liked that pretty interesting feel. Because it was a classic speech, I decided to go with a black and white text on more black and white backgrounds, as to be able to show like the timeline that it was from. So yeah, that's basically it for dynamic typography. And before we end this off, I want to be able to talk about a few other projects that I didn't really upload onto here. That we didn't really do. The first one was an experimentation that my teacher decided to do for us. We were placed in groups again. For this one, I was with Jeremy and Liam, and I don't remember who the fourth person was, or even if there was a fourth person, or if we even decided to do groups of 3 or 4. I don't know. But what our teacher decided to do was that we sought out to find an action to do of the alphabet, so 26 actions that starts with each letter. So, and we can't repeat an action, and we can't do an action that has the same letter as the action that, as a different action that we just did. So, say we do flying, we can't do like flowing or something like that. I'm trying to example. We have to do like an action, say like so F for flying, G for getting, V for vlogging. So yeah, we have to do an action that matches each letter, and we can't do another action that has that's also the same letter as the other action did. And it was disappointing, and because we didn't have time, because we didn't come up with all the actions for all 26 letters, so we just did like I think 12 or 13. So yeah, that was just it. Needless to say, some other groups did a good job on it, I would say, but yeah. And the reason why I didn't show that video off is because we don't keep the footage. The teacher gets all the footage together and he pieces them together on this one video that we only see once, which I would consider a ripoff. Because it would be better to be able to have the footage and to look back on it. So yeah. And the other projects that I did was actually individual projects that everyone had to do. The first one was a news report. Now, I think the teacher said to do this at the beginning of the class, because we had all class time, or not not really all class time, all semester time to be able to work on it, because like he wants to be able to us to be able to dedicate time to be able to do these group projects and also be able to edit them ourselves. For the news report, I actually waited until last month to do this, because I had no plan on how to do it. Eventually, I just decided to just do it on on the messes that people make in the cafeteria. So I just decided to do that. I even got an interview out of it, which was good, but I got a mediocre score out of it, which is fine by me. I wasn't looking forward to getting a good score out of that anyways. So yeah. And then we had to do a documentary. Now, the documentary, you had to go and shoot several B-roll footage, along with getting interviews with several different types of people, and you gotta really follow along with the topic they decided to do for the documentary. I did it on our high school's color club. Yes, we actually had a color club. I mean, how else do you think I got my name, prior to the color club? Because I was part of the club at the time, and I wanted to be able to see if I could make a documentary out of it. I got a good interview with my teacher, and I even had a good interview with myself. Yes, I interviewed myself I decided to go under the impression for this documentary to be under the name Harrison Long. That's that may be a name in real life, by the way. I decided to use that name for the documentary, and yeah, I provide some narration as him by using a different voice than what my voice was at the time. And and I did a pretty good job of what I could do. So yeah, um, yeah, and I could back that up by saying that I got a pretty good score out of it, a pretty good grade out of it. So yeah, but the reason why I don't have the news report in the documentary with me is because I hated doing them. They were pretty much individual projects, and I didn't really feel confident on doing them myself. I didn't want to do them myself. So yeah, that's pretty much it, and that's why I didn't really transfer the footage with me when class ended because I really hated them and I didn't want to look at them again. Although I still remember what they are, so that's at least a saving grace, to tell you guys about the other projects that I did in video production class. And that's gonna be it for this episode of the Developer Commentary series. I feel like I should have I just felt like I should just tell you guys about the other projects out of the way first before I start to forget. Once we head down towards the next several projects here, which is gonna be pretty interesting, more interesting than what I did with the last ones I talked about. The next one's gonna be definitely interesting for sure, and you guys gonna be in for a good time. I can guarantee you that. Anyways, that'll be it for episode number 3 of our Developer Commentary series. If you liked the video, be sure to give it a like, comment down below on what your favorite part was if you want, and stay tuned for the next episode of our Developer Commentary series. Thanks for watching.